After, well, not too long a wait, Silo is back with its second season. So if you haven't seen episode 1 of season 2, this will contain spoilers, but don't worry, I'll give you a warning before we get to that. But as always, I'm Al, this is the Geek in Review. Thanks for taking the time to choose to watch this channel, and if you haven't done already, subscribe and leave a like if you make it all the way to the end of the video. So this week is pretty much a solo episode picking up where season 1 left off, and we had some pretty big questions and a lot of them unanswered at the end of that finale. Season 1 started as a murder mystery that led to Jules questioning everything she knew about her very existence in the silo. It ended with us discovering that the vision that people see when they're sent out to clean is false, and in fact the real world is shown in the cafeteria and seems to be a wasteland. And I've got a theory video coming on what might have happened to the surface of the planet, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. In this episode, while not a lot happens, it looks great, and man, the set designers have really had their work cut out this season, making one set look like two completely different places. And as I suspect, and I mentioned in my trailer breakdown earlier on this week, most of the episode is featured in the marketing material that has been released already. So with that out the way, let's get to it. Also, just to point out, I haven't read the book, so if you have, please don't post any spoilers in the comment section, and just don't be that guy. The episode opens with a child running along a corridor holding a flaming torch, meeting a man called Tim. We see a sign about the founders of the silo, and this is the first time we've seen something like this directly connected to them in the show, at least as far as I can remember. She tells the man she's a message from engineering from her dad, and it says that the generator is going to be flooded in 15 minutes. So whatever's going on, these people seem to be trying to sabotage the reactor deliberately. And initially I thought that this was the rebellion mentioned all the way through season 1, but as we find out later on, that doesn't seem to be the case. Whatever's going on in this silo, people seem to be desperate, and they ring a bell to send a signal to others, letting them know that there's an attack on the way. Now, the people that do attack them are wearing the same outfits as silo security that we've seen before, but while this is going on, it then cuts to a couple where one of them is wearing the sheriff's outfit of the silo, so I guess this either is another silo or it is past of the silo, what I'm going to call Prime, because that was the main one in season 1. And this is obvious that it's a last stand. The sheriff talks to the woman asking if she thinks a man named Russell was lying. And we've seen from the trailer footage already this season that people in this silo, I guess, guessed the truth or found out somehow. And when I say guessed, it's pretty obvious later on that they weren't 100% right. But whatever's going on, they're willing to die for their cause, but it turns out it seems that they win this battle because we see them leaving the entrance to their silo sort of in victory. It then cuts back to where season 1 left off with Jules wandering the wasteland, and she finds these bodies, so it looks as if they didn't make it outside very far before they all died. When I say finds these bodies, I mean literally thousands of them. We know how big the population of a silo can be potentially, and it doesn't look to be that many, but I'd say it was certainly a good whack of the occupants that were inside that we've seen in this very brief scene at the start. But judging by the clothes on the skeletons and the skeletons themselves, it's been a very long time since this happened, if that's the case, and these are the same groups of people. She finds an entrance to this new silo and makes her way inside until she finds the airlock. She manages to get inside, but she damages the tape on her suit, which she knows is the only thing keeping her alive. The viewer with lies written across it that also appeared in the trailer, and it's a really race for her to get her suit off once she realises that she's not got enough air left and she is actually safe inside the silo. One detail that I did love as well is that she scrubs her visor and her helmet and her suit before she tries to take it off to clean whatever might be outside that's killing people, and I think that's a pretty big hint at what it might be, and I've got a few ideas on that coming up. This second silo appears identical to our own, but it's kind of hard to tell because there's almost no power or lighting. It does seem though, like the bodies as I mentioned, it's been abandoned for quite a long while. And like hers, this also has surveillance equipment as well. But remember, Jules is an engineer and she's the one that fixed the reactor in season 1. So in theory, she might have everything she needs to stay here long term, as long as she can repair certain aspects inside. Also, it's worth pointing out that if she does have to go to the reactor, it's a full day's walk at least from the top to the bottom of the silo. We then get something I didn't expect, but I'm glad that happened, as a flashback of when she was younger and her first days joining Mechanical as a team. She learns how recycling works in the silo. We also get the fate of her mother confirmed, learning that she killed herself after her brother's death. And we see her and the younger Shirley exploring the down below as kids as well. In this new silo, there's still power, at least some of it connecting somewhere, and we also see plants and crops and signs that people might still be living there as well. There's also quite a few noises that sound as if it could be people moving around. But whatever battle happened here, it did cause significant damage to the interior, with several staircases and bridges being destroyed, forcing her to climb down to try and reach into a lower level. She falls into a pool of water, and of course we know how terrified she is of that, because she wasn't able to explore any further than the water when she reached the bottom of the silo in season 1. She manages to build a bridge to reach the section where the lights are still on, but it collapses as she makes her way across. However, once she's on the other side, she doesn't find much in ways of clues about what might have happened there. With no choice but to further explore this place, eventually she hears singing or music, and it is the song Moon River, if you're familiar with it. I can't play it for copyright reasons, but Google it if you want. I don't think it'll have any impact on the plot if you're asking me. She follows the sound until finding another pressure door, and as she tries to open it, the music stops, and she sees the man's eyes that we've seen in the trailer through the door. He tells her that he loves the song and that she can't open the door, and if she does try again, he'll kill her, and that's pretty much where the episode ends. Now, a lot of people might not be happy with this episode because not a lot went on, but I really enjoyed that it was a solo Jules outing and we got to reconnect with the character after all this time away. We of course get more questions than answers, but that's to be expected if you asked me. I really enjoyed the episode, and it's clear they're not going to give away too much too soon. I do think there are a lot of clues about potentially what might have happened in this other silo in these opening scenes, and I'm going to do a separate video on that, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. We do know that there was some sort of rebellion in this second silo as well, and these people seemingly won. But my question at this point is, was this at the same time as the rebellion that was happening in the prime silo as well? Because we don't actually really know what the outcome of that was at the end of the day. But also, if there is survivors in this second silo, it means that not everyone left when the original rebellion succeeded. So when you think about that, it sort of indicates whoever this guy is, he's grown up in the ruins of this silo, which is why he's pretty cautious. Also, whatever killed the people once they exited the silo could have made its way inside, and that's why he doesn't want access or contact with Jules. So again, we're getting more questions than answers. I've done several theory videos on why I think the silos were built, and I'm going to link them at the end of this episode if you want to watch them. But yeah, this episode certainly raised a few more questions for me and also hinted at a few more answers as well. But given what we've seen at the start of this new season, we know other silos, or at least this one, life seemed to be near identical to the one Jules' prime silo. The sheriff's officers and the security officers were pretty much wearing the same uniform, and it looks as if this is just a sort of general pattern of life in these places. But with dozens more silos out there, you have to wonder how many others survived and what state they're in as well. I really enjoyed this season 2 opener. I just wish they dropped more than one episode this week, but I suppose it means we're probably going to get some big reveals or hints at next week's one, and I guess we're going to have to wait and see. I didn't expect all the flashback stuff with the younger version of Jules, but I'm glad we're getting it, because man, the actress that plays the younger Rebecca Ferguson in this role totally nails it. And given the fact that it's been about 2 years or 2.5 years since the first season was filmed, viewers of this show are lucky that she didn't change too much. Like last season, I'm going to be doing more theory videos on what I think might be going on in this season of Silo. So again, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. And as always, I want to hear your thoughts, as long as you've not read the books, of course. Was the rebellion at the same time as the one in the Prime Silo over 100 years ago? And what did you think of the episode, and what do you think's going to happen next? Although I haven't read the books, I have read an article that the creators say they have changed certain things from the novels into the TV show. But I'm really looking forward to what the rest of the season has. I think we're definitely going to get some solid answers, and I think there's definitely going to be a lot of levels to this, just like the silo itself. Now, if you don't want to comment below, you can reach out to me on Twitter if you're still using that, because a lot of people aren't these days, at The Geeks Reviews. And as always, my name's Al. Thanks for watching.